The chapel was locked every night, so explain why the nun was always inside, praying. When Daniel transferred to St. Mary's boarding chapel as a night caretaker, he thought the job would be easy. Lock doors, turn off lights, keep the place clean. That was it. The chapel was old, older than the rest of the building. The walls smelled like wax and old wood. Every step echoed too long. On his first night, the head priest gave him one strange rule. Lock the chapel doors by 10 p.m., he said. After that, don't open them, no matter what you hear. Daniel laughed, thinking it was just old religious tradition, until his third night. At 9:58 p.m., he walked into the chapel to lock up. That's when he saw her. A nun kneeling at the front altar, head bowed, hands together, completely still. He froze. "I'm sorry, sister. We're closing," he said quietly. No response. He walked closer. Her clothes looked old, much older than the uniforms he'd seen around the building. The fabric was slightly yellow, like it had been locked away for years. "Excuse me," he said again. Still nothing. Then slowly, she nodded. Once. Relieved, Daniel turned and locked the chapel doors behind him. At exactly 10 p.m. At 10:20 p.m., he heard knocking. From inside the chapel. 3 slow knocks, then silence, then 3 again. He remembered the priest's warning. He ignored it. At midnight, while checking cameras, Daniel felt his chest tighten. The chapel camera was still on, and the nun was still kneeling there. But something was wrong. She was closer to the door. He replayed the footage. Every hour. She had moved slightly forward, still kneeling, still praying, dragging herself across the floor. At 1 a.m., the chapel lights turned on by themselves. On the camera, the nun stopped moving. Then, slowly, her head turned toward the camera. The feed cut. The next morning, Daniel asked the priest about it. The priest's face turned pale. "There hasn't been a nun living here in years," he said quietly. Then he showed Daniel an old photo, a group of nuns standing in front of the chapel. One of them was her. "Sister Agnes," the priest said. "She died in the chapel." That night, Daniel tried to quit, but when he packed his things, he heard praying, soft, close, from the chapel hallway. At 9:59 p.m., the chapel door slowly opened by itself. Inside, the nun was standing now, waiting. He wanted to run, but his legs moved forward, like something was pulling him. Inside the chapel, the air felt thick, heavy, hard to breathe. The nun turned slowly toward him. Her face looked normal, too normal, like wax shaped into a human face. Her lips moved, but the voice came from everywhere. "Someone must pray when the night comes." Daniel tried to speak. Nothing came out. The doors slammed shut behind him. The next morning, the chapel doors were locked, from the outside. The camera showed nothing unusual, just the altar, candles, and 2 figures kneeling, side by side. Now, every night at 10 p.m., if you stand outside the chapel, you can hear 2 voices praying, one old, one new. So, tell me, if you heard someone praying inside a locked chapel at night, would you open the door or walk away?